Welcome to the Rise of the Eco Guards. Stand on guard with me channel. In this short video, which is an inserted small portion, in which this is found within the upcoming release of the Infringement Guise, Part 2, Trump Those Threats video. I feel it's currently important to release this as a separate standalone version as well, entitled Carney's Vaulted Candies. I'll let you know many things that I perceive and sense and feel to be true of what has and is still taking place in Canada as it relates to one of our influenced federal political parties, and those further actions that Mark Carney has been involved with over many years, whether directly or indirectly, by his actions elsewhere. Anyways, let's get on with it. Carney's Vaulted Candies, also known as the one-sided justified conversation about Mark Carney and his real past and current plans in and for Canada. Who in the world would believe this guy's comprehensions, or even his conversations and thoughts, as it relates towards his appointment by the United Nations as a special envoy for climate action and finance? For he has no real practical experience in any fields within the environmental corrective initiatives or the factual mitigations of real pollutants and innovative eco-solution specialties that many of the organizations and companies he's involved with or invested in are not even dealing with, let alone concerned about. And the more recent media interviews that he's attended or conducted points to the fact that his IQ may obviously not be that high. I've ventured to guess he's below average. But that could all be part of his game. Certainly not good enough to be our prime minister if he truly plays games of this nature. For he'll fall in line with past liberal government actions or inactions of all the other Chinese and WEF manipulative matters instigated within this country that I'll further express in this and several other videos of this series. As some people like to ask, for a multitude of reasons, what's his net worth? And really it does not matter, but some like to point out that he's worth $96 billion. But since his entrance into our Canadian political arena, they've now indicated that past number to have been made in error. But it's now been presumably adjusted to $5 million, which again, really matters not, except for the fact of some sort of manipulations or cover-ups transpiring. For I don't believe that the World Economic Forum or WEF founder would show much of an interest in him, like he has, if it were so low. My comprehensions and belief is that he's an opportunistic over-glorified accountant or former banker who takes credit for saving Canada's economy in 2008, when those financial institutional and banking rules and protective protocols and structures were put in place long before his tenure as the Bank of Canada governor. And apparently not a very good Bank of England governor as well, based on what a former British member of Parliament, whom was sitting in that Westminster governance structure during Carney's time at that bank, is now warning Canadians about. He should not be advising anyone about those sensitive environmental and corrective societal manners as it relates to those subject matters, but possibly not advising anyone concerning accounting as well, and that is based on the lack of accounting practices properly used and has been revealed within our own Liberal government's recent accountability reports. At best, I suppose he could teach grifting to the peoples, and we may all need it, if he has his way, in the event he's truthfully elected by our peoples as Canada's next Prime Minister. And that's regardless, if he presumably wins the upcoming Liberal leadership race, or if he's installed as such by the former Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Moreover, since the World Economic Forum and the United Nations have chosen him and endorsed or backed his beliefs about net zero and their deceptive non-factual or questionable scientific versions of climate change, those facts should point to the truth. For them, it's not about anything to do with protecting our ecology and peoples or stopping the extent of real pollutions being expelled into our ecosystems, many times by the very companies that they all have a stake in. It's about protecting their power and control over their influences they wield over all our governments, nations, and peoples, and the manners in which they make vast amounts of money through their linked collaborations with those international companies, also known as foreign entities, as well as their other agendas of their further deceits of whatever manners, and of course their population control agendas and factual actions towards those outcomes. And God knows, it's not about his public persona or potentially upbeat, optimistic, but hateful manners of dealing with pressure points that any good prime minister would require to properly handle really negative situations. From what I can tell, he lacks those abilities greatly, and Mr. Trump or POTUS has already inadvertently proven such. For as a presumed good, or even supposedly great leader, you don't incite a vindictive show, or whatever you call it, towards the most powerful nation on earth, or the leader of such, whom also protects your assets, and is also your biggest trading partner, who could cause unreparable actions upon us all as a country and peoples. And that's regardless of Mr. Trump or POTUS's comments or protective actions concerning North America. For it's his job to do that, when he truly sees what's going on in this country. And truly comprehend this fact, the United States knows more about what's going on in Canada. Actually more than they are telling anyone. Probably more than our own liberal government knows. But also understand this, or at least consider it, anyone that's influenced by outside or international entities that claims to also have the true interest of Canada and its peoples at heart, is lying through their teeth, and truly worse, but does not even deserve to be considered as the leader of the highest office in the land. And also comprehend this, those facts also points to who all you peoples think are traitors to our once dear and cherished country of Canada, whom has much work ahead in order to attain that faithful state once more. Anyhow, that's where I leave this video at for now. But I would ask that you watch the upcoming more intense and more revealing video entitled, The Infringement Guise, Part 2, Trump Those Threats. Until then, please truly ponder upon what's been stated herein.